Today, I want to wish you a happy holidays, but I also want to share with you a tip I wish I was given when I got started. Hello, I'm your host Casino from Casino.com. I'm the digital alchemist, and today I want to share with you a tip I wish I was given when I started freelancing. And before we move on, I truly want to thank you for being part of this channel. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. So happy holidays wherever you are in the world. And actually, I would appreciate it if you could tell me in the comments where you're from. I would truly appreciate that. Now, about that tip. See, in the last few years, I've had very few days for myself. I'm talking about truly resting days. Because being a freelancer, especially when getting started, you're always trying to find new gigs, taking care of all parts of the business that you're trying to build because you need to pay the bills. And to illustrate the tip I want to talk about today, I'm going to share a real story. A couple of years ago, around the same time, so the end of the year holidays, I was really determined to spend some quality time with my loved ones. But at the last moment, my main client asked me for an emergency work. Now, let's make this clear. It was a company with two associates, and I was friend with one of the associates. Actually, I'm still friend with him today. Now, the other associate, she's kind of special to say the least. But when I say special, I mean the kind of special person that cannot even get into the bank because they will call security on her. And in many other places, if you see what I mean. Actually, she was so crazy that she's the reason why I created the video Clients from Hell. And you can look that up on my channel. Now, back to our story. So we were like the 22nd of December or somewhere around that time. I don't recall exactly. And they told me they needed my urgent help. Because basically, even though there were two associates, they had investors in the company. And the investors had a lot of power. Now, to give you a little bit of context, I knew them before I started working with them, but when I started working with them, they had a website that was plagued with viruses and that kind of stuff, so they asked me if I could do something really fast, which I did. But it was really not a perfect solution because I had very little time, so I tried to fix what I could, create a new website, and it was working. It was an e-commerce website. And the plan was that I was going to work on the perfect website, or at least a much better solution, but for the long term, which was due like 6 months later. But then what happened is that apparently the investors told them that they wanted a new website by the 4th of January. Otherwise, the funds would be cut. And basically, I knew that the company was going bad, and it was around the end of the year, that kind of Christmas spirit kind of thing. And I thought, okay, I'm going to help them. And I did. So instead of spending time with my family, with my loved ones, what I did is I worked like day and night. And literally, I spent a few nights where I worked all night trying to finish that project for the 4th of January. And I did. But I mean, time went on like a snap. I didn't spend time with my family. I didn't appreciate the time. But I thought, okay, I'm going to help them. They need my help. Now, fast forward a few months later, so I managed to deliver the website. But then things were not going that great with the sales, but I had nothing to do with the sales. I was working with them on the website, also on their ads and stuff. But in my opinion, they had a great brand. Honestly, they had a really beautiful brand with a lot of potential. But in my opinion, the pricing was off. It was either too high or too low. Now, let me give you an example. I did a campaign for them and we managed to get like 1,200 clicks on an ad for a very decent amount of money. And then there was a button, buy now. And we managed to get like 250 people clicking on the buy now button. So this was just a test campaign. It was not a large scale campaign. It was really focused geographically and really a test. So from 1,200 clicks on the ad, we managed to get 250 people clicking on the buy now button. And then they got something like 2 sales. Because when people saw the price, they were shocked. Because in my opinion, like I said, it was either too high or too low. It was a sports luxury brand. So when you looked at the price of the main item they were trying to sell in that campaign, if you were someone really involved in sports and you saw that item and you were told it was a luxury item, you would laugh because just your sports watch would be way higher than the pricing of these items. And if you were the average Joe or Jane just willing to do some sports, then the price was way too much, like tenfold the time of what you would find in a regular sports store. So I had always felt like they had a really good product, they had a really good brand, a really beautiful brand, but the pricing was really off. And I also think that the spirit within that company wasn't that great after all, because my friend, which is the other associate, had a really great spirit, but he had really a minor share in the company. And the main associate, I don't want to badmouth her, but she knows what I think about her. As a friend, she can be a cool person, but as a business person, she has that old mentality that she thinks that she's God and everybody has to just bow down before her, and she can, throw tantrums and go crazy, and people should accept that. I think, when you have that kind of mentality, unless you're already a billionaire with, many business skills, and even then, it's not right. But if you're just getting started and you behave like that, it's not really going to work, is it? Now, another example is that when I started working with them, there was a team of like 10 people. And by the time I decided to leave, I think I was the 9th to leave. There was just one person after me. And I think there were a couple of other people that came into the company at that stage. But yeah, from the time I started, like 9 people left, me included. So that kind of gives you an idea. Now, I'm getting to the tip, so bear with me. But a few months later, I was come over to their office, and she started asking me a lot of questions. Now, something I forgot to mention is that during those 2 weeks, I worked day and night. When I gave them the bill, the final invoice, I think I gave them a 60 to 65% discount, which I usually never do. But you need to bear in mind that I really wanted to help, and I thought, okay, I'm going to heavily discount it because I know their company is going bad. So fast forward a few months later, they asked me to come over, and she started asking me a lot of questions. Basically, she's not happy because the campaign, she only got 2 sales, but I didn't do the product. I didn't create the product. I got the metrics. I got a large number of clicks for a very little amount of money. So at the end of the day, it's the consumer that makes the decision. So basically for her, it was like my fault, and not just my fault, the whole of the team basically. So she started talking and she wanted me to do more work. And I said, yeah, no problem. But this time it will be my regular rate. So she went on crazy like, yeah, I don't understand. I already paid for that. Yada, yada, yada. I was so pissed off because at that point, all of the holidays that I didn't have and all the quality time that I didn't have with my loved ones and that I would never get back, it all came back to my mind. Also, the 65% discount. I was so pissed off. And that day, I fired that client. I fired the client. I stood up and I said, look at me because it's the last time you see me. But I did everything clean. I gave all the codes, everything, as a professional. But I was done. Now, bear in mind, it was my main client. It was like 80% of my revenue. So it was really scary. It was an act of faith. But looking back, it's one of the best things I ever did because, first of all, that negative energy just left. So that gave room for other things to happen and good things to happen. And also, it taught me not to be dependent on one main client anymore. So I'm going to try to have smaller clients in terms of revenue, but more clients. So when one leaves or something happens, it's not as scary. So fast forward to today. Today, at the time of recording this video, I'm taking some real time off. And I know that some clients will eventually need some urgent things to be done, to be fixed. But the truth is, one, there will always be more urgent things to do. But while you're doing it, your clients, they're spending quality time with their loved ones. And 2, you only have one life. So don't waste it because the time you waste today, you may not get it back tomorrow. And if I look at my own story that I just explained to you, those holidays, they're gone. They're gone. I will never get memories back with my loved ones from that time. All I remember is all those days and nights that I kept working on that project. And today that company went bankrupt. I'm never going to get this time back. But one thing is for sure. Today, I want to spend some quality time so that maybe in a couple of years, I will do a video explaining that I'm so thankful that I got those memories. So the heart of the tip is this. Cherish your clients, but put boundaries in place. You only have one life. There will always be one more thing to do, but that can wait. happy holidays, and thank you for being part of this channel.